Sure. So we're going to start out using the 2 blocks and a bolster. I'm just giving you the side view, but basically you're going to put it behind you. So you have 1 block the highest, but you would set it up like if your mat is facing me, you would set it up 1 block on its highest, and then a 2nd block on its 2nd height, right close to that. So they're both touching.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're making this ramp with your bolster so that the bolster is touching that back end and the low end is towards you. And then you're just coming to sit, like you were saying, cobbler's pose, you're just coming to sit right in front of that. What I like to do is, even though I'm not going to sit on the bolster, I like to kind of push the edge of the bolster down, even though I'm not sitting on it, so that my butt can go close to the bolster. And then exactly what you're saying, starting to reclining backwards, that your head is on your bolster. Perfect. And then your hands will come to your thighs, just encouraging the thighs to open. And you're just resting here. On purpose, we don't have anything under the legs. So there is this sort of like tugging action of the inner thighs kind of gripping a little bit, and that will soften over time. So just rest here. Your elbows are pointed towards the floor. You can gently close your eyes and gently close your mouth. And then with your eyes closed and your mouth closed, just notice how your breathing is coming in through your nose, moving through your body, and gliding back out through your nose. So there's a slowing down. It's almost as if your muscles are moving away from your bones. Things are starting to relax. And in this position, there's a stretch across your chest. Like you're not only opening up lengthwise, north and south, but you're opening up widthwise, east and west. Feel the stretch across your chest, right and left, east and west. And then let your awareness settle on your exhale, that you're watching and they're very interested in your exhale. And as you watch and are interested in your exhale, it may begin to stretch out and elongate. That you're taking more time to let go, to release, to empty out. And just by watching the exhale and the exhale stretching out, perhaps the inhale begins to match it. That all you've done is lay down and watched your exhale, and already you're finding a balance, an equilibrium. Enjoy this balance, this equilibrium. Wherever your mind wanders off to, allow it to go. So it's not like you have to worry about having external thoughts of things that are not going on right now. Let your mind go, it's okay. But just as easily as these thoughts come up, let them pass on through. That you're not holding on to any one thought. That things are just coming and going. So your mind is like the blue sky outside, and these thoughts are like white puffy clouds. They come into view, and they glide on by out of view. Imagine your body like a balloon, that as you inhale, your body is expanding, growing larger and larger. And as you exhale, you're releasing out the air, and your body is coming back towards you, expanding and relaxing. Maybe your exhale can last for a 6 or a 7 if you were silently counting to yourself. And the inhale will match it with that same 6 or 7 if you were silently counting to yourself. That you're exhaling for 7 and inhaling for 7. Feeling totally supported, giving yourself permission to let go. Keep doing what you're doing, or not doing what you're not doing. Relax your face, that your eyes are closed and soft and relaxed. That your cheeks are soft and relaxed. That your mouth is soft and relaxed. Feel the rising of the inhale and the falling of the exhale. One breath leading into the other. Imagine your forehead like a beautiful satin ribbon. Right across your forehead, this beautiful satin ribbon. Stay doing what you're doing. Let your hands fall to the floor outside of your hips. Your palms are face down. Just resting here, the elbows pointing towards the floor. Feel that stretch across your chest. Feel the focus on emptying out and letting go. Individually and as a society, we've come so amazing at doing. Here we're becoming amazing at not doing, at undoing. Becoming the best at resting. Imagine your inhale gliding up the sides of your nose. So if your nose is a triangle, the inhale is gliding up the sides of the triangle. And the exhale coming right down through the center of your nostrils and exiting out. So the inhale gliding up the sides of your nose, coming in. The exhale sliding out through the center of your nostrils, coming down. It's like you're inviting the air in. And you're ushering every last bit of air out. inviting the air in and ushering every last bit of air out. Like there's a dance of breath within you. That even though your body is still, your insides are dancing with your breath. Relax the back of your head. Relax the back of your shoulders. Relax your hips and your butt. Relax your hands and your feet. Everything relaxing. That your back body, everything that's touching something, the bolster, the floor, that your back body is dropping into those supports. And your front body is rising. So everything that's facing the sky is lifting towards the sky. So your back body is dropping and your front body is lifting. With all this dropping and lifting, there's space between your back body and front body. Breathe into this space between your back body and front body. Breathe into the space between your inhale and your exhale. That tiny pause where the inhale becomes the exhale and the exhale becomes the inhale, where there's a mixing and mingling. Let your hands slide backwards so they're a little bit closer outside of your hips. Push into your hands. You're coming to sit up. Your legs remain as they are, the soles of the feet together, the knees wide apart. Take your hands to hold your ankles. Lift your heart up and then fold forward. Your arms are on the outside of your legs. So we were in a back bend resting over the bolster. Now we're coming to a counter pose. You're coming to a forward bend. Let your head and your neck go. Just breathe here. Maybe the knees drop towards the earth. You might feel a stretch in the inner groins and the inner thighs. Just allow whatever comes up, whatever physical sensations arise, allow them to come up without trying to change them. Just being with whatever is. Breathe here. While you're folded in here, feel how your back body is rising, lifting off of you, almost like your back body is like a blanket that's draped over you. And as you inhale, this blanket of your back body lifts up off of you. And as you exhale, it comes right back over you. So there's this undulation of breath, this wave-like movement of breath, inhaling and exhaling. Breathe here. Keep doing what you're doing. Let your head and your neck go, that you don't have to hold yourself up. You're allowing gravity to take you. Come to sit up. Step your feet down. Your knees are bent. Your feet are apart. Take your hands to your shins. Pull back on your shins so you can sit up nice and tall. Let's step the feet even wider. The toes are going to turn out. The knees are going to turn out. You'll take your right arm to the inside of the right leg. Your palm is facing open. But instead of this arm pulling you down like you're hunching forward, you're lifted up. Do the same thing with the left arm. And again, instead of it pulling you forward, you're lifted up. Now your arms are going to push out to the legs and the legs pushing into the arms. It's an isometric stretch for the inner thighs. Just pause here, breathe here. Then take your right arm, I'm mirroring you. Take your right arm behind you on a diagonal. Look to your right arm. Feel the stretch across your chest. Take your right arm and close it right on top of the left palm and then open it again. 3 more. We'll inhale here, exhale, close and open on the inhale. Do it again. Close and open. 1 more. Close and open. Let's take this right arm to the inside of the right leg. We'll take the left arm backwards on a diagonal. Look to your left thumb. Feel the stretch across your chest. There's this diagonal line, wrist to wrist. Then let's take this left hand, close it over the right. That's on the exhale. Inhale the arm, open. Exhale, close. Do it 2 more. Open and close. 1 more. Open and close. Let's take both arms to the inside and then take your hands to prayer. Disconnect the elbows from the knees. Walk your feet forward. You're going to have the knees come together to touch. Take your right arm and wrap it around your shins. Take your left hand outside of the bolster to the left and then turn and twist to the left. While you're twisting to the left, drop your shoulders down your back. Return to center. Let's switch it. Take your right arm across both shins. It's your left arm across both shins. Your right hand goes behind you on high finger pads to the outside of the right side of the bolster. Turn and twist to the right. While you're twisting to the right, send your shoulders down your back. Come back to center, release your hands. Separate the feet again. It's known as hip width apart. Let's do this. We'll take 2 fists and put them together, and then put your 2 fists between your feet, and then walk your feet so close they're touching the 2 fists, and then just take your hands to hold below your knees. So your feet are what's known as hip width apart. We'll inhale, arch our spine and look to the sky. Exhale, round your spine and look in. You're kind of pushing back to the bolster. Inhale, arch and look up. Exhale, round and look in. 2 more. Inhale, arch and look up. Exhale, round and look in. 1 more. Inhale, arch and look up. Exhale, round and look in. Come back to a neutral spine. You're just looking straight ahead. Release your hands. Let's turn. I'm going to do it with you. So it's going to look like the same thing because I'm going to mirror you. We're going to turn the right hip to touch the bolster. So we're going to go slow. So this right hip is going to go right to the center of the bolster. Notice how that right hip is not like forward over to too far or backwards. That center of the outside of the right hip is touching that front center of the bolster. Then we're going to separate the feet so that the right arch of the foot cups the left knee. The right arch of the foot cupping the left knee. And this left shin is parallel to the wall in front of you. So if somehow like that's not the case, then you're just going to maneuver around until that right hip is touching the bolster, the right arch of the foot cupping the left knee, and the left shin is parallel to the wall in front of you. You're going to flex your feet. It's the opposite of pointing. Then you're going to turn and face your bolster. Your hands are going to go to the outside of the bolster. So the right hand goes to the right side, the left hand goes to the left side. At first, we're going to go to a severe twist, not for very long, and then we'll make it lighter. So the severe twist is that your left cheek touches the bolster. So it's not that you're turning to the left, it's that your actual left cheek is touching the bolster. And then stay there. You got it. Breathe here. Keep this basic position, but now turn so your right cheek is touching the bolster. You're resting with your right cheek touching the bolster, and then rest there. The elbows bending towards the ground outside of the bolster, right and left side. Rest here. You can go back in your mind to that visual of your back body being a blanket. As you inhale, this blanket of your back body lifts off of you. As you exhale, this blanket of your back body drapes over you. keep your energy nice and low. You don't want to disturb yourself too much. Walk your hands back towards your hips. Push down into your hands to lift yourself up. You're going to unwind facing me. We'll take the soles of the feet together, the knees wide apart, and then take your legs wide apart. You're sitting up. You'll have your hands behind you on high finger pads. Lift your butt up. You're coming to sit down. You're not on the bolster. You're just very close to the bolster with your legs straight. You're flexing your feet so the toes are directed towards the sky. Your knees are directed towards the sky. Take your hands out in front of you on these high finger pads as if there was a cupcake under each hand. Then walk your hands forward. You'll flatten your palms flat down. Lift your heart up. So even though you're coming forward with a strong, straight spine. As you're flexing your toes are pulling back towards your ears. Breathe here. There's this space between your hands. We're going to split that space and put the left hand in the middle of that space. So your left hand is forward and center of you. Take your right arm to the sky. You're in a twist. Look up to see your thumb. Let's scoop this right arm inside of the left arm. You're going to round your right arm. The left arm stays straight. We're going to do that 7 more times. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, scoop it under. 6 up and under. 5 up and under. 4 up and under. 3 up and under. 2 up and under. 1 up and under. Stay here, just looking past your left shoulder. It's like the right shoulder is gliding off of your back, like there's a little bit more room. That right shoulder has a little bit more breathing room behind it, that you can breathe into this newfound room at your right shoulder. Then look down at your left hand, replace your right hand exactly where the left hand was, and take your left arm to the ceiling. Look up to see your thumb, your palm faces away from you. You're in a stretch. See if you can ground into both sitting bones evenly. So it's not like you're pushing down more weight into your right sitting bone. Then scoop this left arm inside of the right. The right arm stays straight, the left arm is rounded. Inhale the left arm to the sky. Exhale, scoop it under. 6, lift and scoop. 5, inhale, exhale. 4, up and under. 3, up and under. 2, up and under. 1, up and under. Stay here looking past your right shoulder, the left shoulder gliding off your back. There's a little bit more breathing room behind that left shoulder. Breathe into this newfound room. Breathe here. Grounding evenly through both sitting bones. Look down at the right hand, take both hands down, just separate your hands shoulder distance apart. At first, your palms are flat down, then go up onto those high finger pads like there's a cupcake under each hand. Then walk your hands in closer to you so you're sitting up tall. Take your hands behind you on high finger pads so there's a stretch across your chest. Bend your knees, step your feet out in front of you. We're going to go to the second side. So let's turn now our left hip to the bolster, but let's go just as slow as we did the first side. You might have to pull that bolster closer to you so that your left hip is touching the front center of the bolster. Your left arch of your foot is going to cup your right knee, and your right shin is parallel to the wall out in front of you. You might have to move this configuration so that that left hip is really touching the bolster and the right shin is parallel to the wall in front of you. You'll turn to face the bolster. Your left hand goes to the left side of the bolster, the right hand to the right side. Your elbows are going to point and down towards the ground, and your right cheek is going to go to the bolster. So first you're going to the more severe twist. Your right cheek is touching the bolster. Just drop into the support of the bolster. keep this basic position, but lift your head up so you can turn now your left cheek to touch the bolster. Just rest with your left cheek touching the bolster. In your mind, return to that idea of a blanket over you. As you inhale, your back body, this blanket lifts off of you. As you exhale, this blanket of your back body is draped on top of you. There's this undulation, this wave-like movement of breath that washes through you. Walk your hands a little bit closer towards your hips so you can push down into them, but just lift yourself, but stay facing the bolster. You're going to keep your legs like they are. While you're facing the bolster, remove the 2 blocks from under the bolster. So you're just putting the blocks anywhere off of from under the bolster, but the bolster still stay long behind you. Then turn to face me. So just undoing your feet, your soles of the feet come down, your knees are bent. I just want to move away so you can see you have the bolster behind you. It's nice and long behind you. You're going to come to sit in front of the bolster, just pulling the bolster very close to touch you. Then with your hands on the bolster, lift yourself up. You're going to sit on the edge of the bolster. So you're just sitting at the front edge of the bolster. We're going to make sure to be at the front edge because in a moment we're going to lay down and we'd like just the back of our head and the back of our shoulders on the mat, but the rest of our body on the bolster. Stay where you are. I just want to give you the side view. So stay where you are. You're sitting you're sitting right on the front edge of your bolster. Now with me, start to lay down. You're going to maneuver yourself so that you actually put your shoulders down onto the mat or onto your floor. So you want your shoulders and the back of your head on the floor. And then you're going to lengthen your legs long and narrow. So with the legs long and narrow, the backs of the legs touch the bolster, and then your feet will relax. But ideally, you have not only the back of your head on the floor, the back of your shoulders are on the floor as well. So just your torso and your hips and the back of the legs are on the bolster. Your hands are palms face up. Just move your hands a little bit away from your body and relax your fingers, and then close your eyes. Again, we're not only stretching the body lengthwise, but we're stretching widthwise. So you can breathe into this east-west stretch across your chest. It's like you're making more room for your heart, like you're making more room for your lungs, that you can breathe freer, that your heart can expand more and more. Just rest here, breathing here, relaxing here. In your mind, keep coming back to focusing on your breathing, that you're sending energy out on the exhale. Keep this relaxation with you as you move your hands closer to your body. Turn your palms face down. Bend your knees and step your feet wider than the bolster. Then wiggle yourself backwards. Or you know what, actually lift your butt up. Your butt comes off the bolster. Then use your hands to pull the bolster forward towards your butt. So you're just going to have the bolster under your butt. So you're moving the bolster so it's only under your butt. Lower your butt down so your sacrum is on the bolster, but your torso is on the mat. So just your butt is on the bolster. Take your hands down by your side. Lengthen your legs long and narrow over the bolster. Let your hands come down by your side. Turn your palms up. Rest here. Breathe here. Let go. Let your hands come close outside of your hips. Turn your palms down. Bend your knees. Step your feet wider than the bolster. Lift your butt up. Keep the bolster where it is. You're going to lower your butt down onto the bolster. Then lift your butt up. Do it 3 more times. Lowering down and up. 2 more. Down and up. 1 more. Down and up. Keep your butt lifted. Use your hands to push the bolster forward. You're pushing the bolster forward, so it's no longer under your butt, but it's very close to you. Lower your butt down onto the floor. Extend your legs long and narrow over the bolster. Let your hands come to your belly. Your palms are face down. The hands are separated. Your elbows are on the ground. Close your eyes and rest here. Drop into the support of the bolster. So we went from a severe back bend to a gentle back bend to restoration for our back. So here with your legs up on the bolster and your butt down on the ground, it's this restoration for your back, this calming, this cooling energy coming in through your nose, swirling through your body, gliding back out through your nose. With your hands on your belly, you're feeling this living, breathing sea inside of you. That you have this calm energy with you always. Let your hands come down outside of your hips. Bend your knees and step your feet wider than the bolster. Now, we're going to come up, but we don't want to disturb ourselves too much. So we're going to walk the hands closer to us and a little bit further back. So you're coming up just onto your elbows. So just like I'm doing here, you're just coming up onto your elbows. Then come up onto your hands. You're going to lift your butt and then pull your butt backwards. Separate your feet wide apart. Turn your bolster the wide way. So you're still facing the bolster, but the bolster is now the wide way. You're going to step your feet wider than the bolster and come to lay down. Now you can move your butt close to the bolster and come to lay down. So you're laying down, your butt is close to the bolster, your bolster is like horizontal, and now step your feet onto the bolster. So you're stepping your feet onto the bolster. Lift your butt up. Breathe here. You're in a bridge position with your feet on the bolster. So the feet are a good 5-6 inches apart. They're grounding into the bolster. You're lifting your butt up. Then lower your butt down and lengthen your legs over the bolster. Maybe the bolster is behind your knees. Just rest here, just settling in. Release your right shoulder. What does that mean? It means that you kind of move your right shoulder away from the left and then the left shoulder away from the right. And then let your hands come down by your side. Turn your palms up. Close your eyes. We're settling in for our final relaxation. Now you no longer have to think of what to do. You can just let go and relax. Just drop into the support of everything beneath you, as if the earth is rising up to take care of you, to tell you that you are never alone. The earth is here, waiting to be your support. Rest here. Wiggle your toes and wiggle your fingers. Draw your knees into your chest and wrap your arms around your shins. Roll over to one side that you're resting in a fetal position. Then push down into an elbow and into a knee that you're coming up just to face me. Have the bolster behind you the wide way, so it's horizontal towards me, and then just come to sit up on the top of that bolster. You'll cross your legs out in front of you, just sitting up nice and tall. Take your hands to prayer in front of your heart, the right and left hand pushing into each other evenly. Level your chin with the floor. Just close your eyes for a moment. Just wander around inside, very similar to how you would go for a walk outside through the park. You're going for a walk through this inner landscape within, that there's so much room inside, so much yet to be explored. Feel this balance, equal, even energy of pushing down into your right and left sitting bone, of your right and left hand pushing into each other, of your inhale and exhale, of the right and left parts of the brain coming together. So there, everything is coming together harmoniously. Bow your head down into your heart, even though your eyes are closed. It's like you're looking into the best parts of you, living from the best parts of you. Then lift your head, release your hands, separate your eyelashes to open your eyes.